nigga listen for the brain on. Southside nigga murder everything on. Shot fire making nigga run, man.
What's good, y'all? It's me, L, back with another one. Bridging the gap, niggas. So again, back to react. Shout out to Natalie, Odell. I'm reacting to my girlfriend is cheating with her bestie. I'm not gonna hold up any more motherfucking time. I got reactions to knock out today. After this one, I'm definitely doing reaction requests. You know what I mean? And I'm actually behind on reacting to Natalie's vids because, you know, I was pretty good with reacting to them. So, if this motherfucker come the fuck on, come on fucking, thank you, bitch. Thank you. I know my singing was horrible that you actually had to work. Fuck.
Hey baddies, it's your girl Natalie Odell and welcome back to your favorite beauty channel where we talk everything beauty, fashion, lifestyle, and most importantly, self-love. I hope you guys are ready for another episode of Hey Nat, Let's Chat, where I give you unbiased, uncensored advice to help my baddies live their best life.
Okay. By the way, before we get started, I am extremely proud of Nat, man. Like the journal bundles and everything. For one, I didn't buy it yet. Because for one, like the stuff that she has, like that she's selling, I already have. I always keep sage on deck. You know what I mean? I always keep my crystals on deck. The journal, I already have journals. You know what I mean? But I will, you know, buy it just to support. But still, it's really, really cool. You know what I mean? How successful and how like it was like instantaneous that everything sold out. Like, you know, you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Okay, baby. So for episode 3 of Hey Nat, Let's Chat, I decided I wanted to throw in some questions that are a little bit different than the other ones that I was answering. I was talking a lot about, you know, relationships before. We're gonna have a few of those, but I sprinkled in some other ones too. And don't forget, if you did submit a question and I didn't respond to it this time, continue sending your questions because it might just be a matter of time before I see it and then I can answer in the next one. It's really easy to submit. You just have to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and everything and just kind of wait for me to say that I'm opening my DMs for them because that's the only time I'm actually looking through my DMs for Hey Nat, Let's Chat questions. So eventually I'm probably going to make like an email or something for it so that it's a lot easier.
Right.
You guys can submit at any time and I'll just like go through that email. But for now, we're going to use the DMs. Okay, so let's get into the video.
Hey Nat, let's chat. So this is super embarrassing, but I'm going through a breakup right now with my ex. We were together for 1.5 years. We broke up because I do not trust her with her friend. So her friend has been causing issues since day one in our relationship because they used to mess around before I came in the picture. But I guess that's her best friend and she's...
That's a fucking red flag right there. Because regardless of the fact... Because listen, this is how I am. Let me just give you my... Cause look, see how she clutched the pearls? That's how I feel right now. It's just like, you know, I would say in my experience, you know, of being in the life, I have been on the receiving end, and I've also been the cheater. I've been like both sides of the spectrum as far as everything. I had cheated on my John with one of my friends, with an ex, whatever, and I had, you know, Jones I dated cheat on me with my friend. You know what I mean? I think it's a lot of shit. Everybody cheats. Everybody cheats no matter what fucking lifestyle you have, straight, gay, poly, whatever the fuck. Someone is bound to cheat. As long as, well, honestly, you see, even with fucking Jada and fucking what's her name? Will, he had a what? Open? They were swingers, whatever the fuck. And she still cheated. Like, in a sense. Like, so, like, regardless of the fact that he was broken up or taking a break or whatever, still. But that's a red flag right there off the rip. Like, to know that whoever you're dealing with or getting into a relationship with or talking to has a friend who they were open saying that they, you know, they used to smash or used to do, you know, have some sort of shit. when you get that fucking disclaimer up front, that's when you make your choice if you're still gonna fuck with them. But us in our mind, ladies, we always give people the benefit of the doubt. Always give people the benefit of the doubt. And a lot of times that shit backfires. Because we always see the good in people. You know? So it's just like, Papa, chill. It's just like, you know, it's kind of like your warning signs was there. Your warning signs was there when she said that they used to date or whatever, and then you start seeing that the friend of this person is acting out. That would give me fucking inkling. For one, are they still fucking around? Two, if they're not fucking around, she's doing this shit on purpose because she still wants her. Or probably wants her because someone else got her attention at the moment. You know what I mean? Because it's weird. We're weird. We want someone who, when we don't get the attention, then we get the attention. We're like, oh man, why did I ask for their attention? I really don't want this. It's like you did all that for nothing. You know what I mean? But either way, especially if the girlfriend didn't do anything, and you present to her like, what's up with your friend? Like, she being extra, she doing this and the third, and your girl ain't doing nothing. That's the fucking. That's like getting what you signed up for. Come on, Space. Don't you dare.
And let her go, which we've had multiple arguments about that. But I want to know, how can I get my mind off this? How can I move forward? How can I stop overthinking? Because this love was amazing and we both love each other unconditionally and everything was perfect but that friendship. So how can I move on, or if I should move on, or should I fight one more time to really try to make this work and see what kind of boundaries we can set with their friendships? I just need some help, girl. Let me know.
Listen, girl, I just felt that one in my chest and my stomach and my heart. I was like, hold up. I can relate to this. I'm sure everyone watching this can relate to certain boundaries being crossed and stuff like that in a relationship. Whether you're a jealous person or not, it's a really tricky situation when you were actually talking about somebody that your partner was actually intimate with. That's a totally different ballgame. Right. Okay, so I completely understand where you're coming from and feeling like there's trust issues and really uncomfortable with it. I want to give you a little bit of background information on my relationship. So I know I bring this back to Easy and I pretty often, but I feel like it's a great example. So Easy is still friends with one of her exes, and it's public knowledge. She posts about it and stuff like that. And I think the thing that made me feel the most comfortable with it is her. Easy made sure I was comfortable with it. Right. She did things, went an extra mile to make sure that I didn't feel like there was anything going on. She would take her phone calls with her ex around me. I met her ex. She honestly never really hung out with her ex much without me. And if she did, she would call me or text me or FaceTime me so that I could say hello. She went the extra mile.
Okay, so that's good. That's good. Now, if your girlfriend is doing all that to make you comfortable, that's good, to alleviate you. But in this instance, if the girlfriend is not doing any of that, if she's not trying to give you some sort of peace of mind and checking the friend when she's being out of pocket, then that's a problem. This is where the intimacy can make us feel like, everything, the vibes, the conversation can make us feel like everything's unconditional. But is it really unconditional? It comes down to actions, not what's being said. You know what I mean? And through Easy's actions with Nat, she's trying to make her seem as comfortable as possible. Because I'm sure Nat has her moments where she feels some type of way. But Easy is like, she's taking the extra steps to make her feel comfortable. But like, listen, ain't nothing going on here. We still cool. We still friends. But ain't nothing going on. That's different.
Comfortable. So I'm going to bring that back to you to say, is your girlfriend doing that?
Right.
Is she making sure that you are comfortable? To me, it sounds like she's not, based off of your voice memo. It sounds like she's kind of more being defensive of their friendship because they were best friends before you. Right. But they weren't just strictly best friends. They were actually intimate and that means they were friends with benefits. Right. Y'all were best friends with benefits, okay?
Right.
Dang, girl. This is a tricky one. And it's actually a really good question. Like, what should you do? I'm going to say this. If I was you, I would see if there are boundaries that you can set that she will accept. Mm-hmm. I would have a conversation with her and be like, look, I want to give this another try. And here are the boundaries that we have to set. Maybe the boundaries are y'all can't hang out without me. Maybe the boundaries are, I don't want y'all talking past a certain time at night. I don't really know what your boundaries necessarily will be.
She's just saying boundaries in general.
What you're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. But see how willing she is to accept those boundaries and abide by them. If she's not willing and she makes a big deal about it and stuff, honestly, girl, you might just want to count your losses and move on, because to me that would be really suspicious if she's willing to continue jeopardizing what you guys have for her best friend. It could be that she still has feelings for her best friend. Yeah. It could be, I don't know, a plethora of things. I wouldn't say, I don't know if they're still having sex, messing around, or whatever the case may be. Right. But believe me, like, those type of feelings, like, once you cross that boundary, it's not easy to just reel it back in. I also don't know if she's crossed certain boundaries during your relationship with this girl. You said there's been multiple issues with her and stuff, her best friend. I don't know if it's been like your insecurities about it, like, oh, this makes me uncomfortable, or has she crossed boundaries? If she has crossed boundaries, then girl, like I said, snip, snip, count your losses, keep it moving, and learn from it for the next relationship. That is all.
Hey girl. Hey Nat, let's chat. So, I've been with my wife for 6 years, married for 2. And I struggle with mental health issues. I won't go into detail, but just your advice. I know that you're big on mental health. Just your advice on how I can maintain keeping up my mental health and also juggling my marriage relationship. Okay. Thanks.
Wow. That's a great question. And I just want to say this before I get into answering it. Guys, don't be afraid to ask questions that aren't about relationships. That's not the only thing Hey Nat, Let's Chat is about. Right. It can be about stuff that's going on in your life that it does not pertain to romance or your relationships or whatever, or even your romantic relationships. It could be friends, family, it could be anything, okay? So definitely send a plethora of questions, okay? So first of all, I just want to say to you that, Batty, it's completely normal to have mental struggles and stuff like that. And the first step to getting better and feeling better on a regular basis is admitting it and realizing that more people probably have mental health struggles than not. It's a normal thing, and I feel like more people that I talk to say that they have had certain struggles like this than people are just like, oh, I'm happy all the time. That's unrealistic, okay? And I know that having certain type of mental struggles and emotional struggles can have a huge effect on the people around you, whether it be your significant other, your friends, your family, whatever the case may be. So I'm sure it has affected your relationship with your woman. I think the first step to juggling your mental health and your marriage is just being completely honest with your wife. I'm sure your wife knows. I'm guessing. I'm not going to say I'm sure, but I'm guessing that she knows that you have these struggles. But I want you to be completely transparent with her. Let her know the depths of your struggles, so that she knows whenever I'm in this type of mood, it might be because of this. And the more comfortable you guys get with talking about what you're going through, you might find some relief there. Don't be afraid to open up to her. The next piece of advice I would give you is to practice gratitude on a regular basis. I know with work and all these other things that might be going on in life, it's really easy to fall into a place where you're not thinking about how blessed you are for the smallest things and for actually taking a new breath the next day, So definitely every single day you should make a list of things that you're grateful for. As it pertains back to your wife, I would say Something that's really important, this kind of goes with the communication. Make sure your wife has a clear understanding of things that you need when you're going through your depressed state,
Absolutely.
when you're feeling down. Mm-hmm. What are things that she can do to cheer you up? And also take a list of things that you can do to make your wife happy, because you don't want to start feeling like, you know, your wife is your crutch, or feel like, you know, it's not like a give and take, it's just a take.
Right.
So ask her, like, say, baby, these are the things that I need when I'm having a mental, you know, situation, whenever I'm emotionally down, whatever the case may be. And what are things that I can do for you? Whether, even if she doesn't have like mental struggles or emotional struggles, it could be like whenever you're cramping and you're on your period or on a regular basis, how can I make you feel more supported? So it's just going to be a lot about communication and you guys supporting each other, and her being able to identify when you are going through your emotional or mental states. So I really hope this.
That was really good advice. And like she said, it really, honestly, mental health as a whole in the community, no matter if, you know, what race, whatever, I would say it all comes down to it's taboo. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, especially in the people of color community. It's like, you know, we got that facade that we have to be strong all the time or internalize everything that we feel, and, you know, it's like mental health issues is taboo when it's like it's right here in your fucking face, you know? And even when you talk to some people, it's even sometimes your significant other may not be as receptive. They hear you, what you're saying, but they're not really receiving what the fuck is going on with you. They're not, you know, and also so it's really important that, you know, like both sides has communication. Your mate is understanding and supportive of you when it comes down to anything that you got going on, mental health wise. So you and make you feel more comfortable instead of, you know, you feeling like you're a burden, because, you know, it's like that's how some people feel. Like it's like if they did speak out on how they feeling, if the person's like, okay, whatever, then that person who, you know, it takes a lot for them to speak on it will fucking bottle that shit back up and not feel comfortable because it's like you didn't make them feel comfortable enough. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, I shouldn't have said it. I should have kept it to myself, And honestly, at the end of the day, in addition to communicating to your wife, your husband, whatever, it's always good to talk to somebody else. It's always good to talk to a counselor, regardless of the fact you don't want to, you know, a lot of people don't want to talk to a stranger, but, you know, that's the field that they specialize in. So it's always good to have some sort of communication, because that way that person can provide you the tools to, you know, if you're not using medicine, because a lot of people don't like to use medication, to use the tools that will help you when you have your episodes or whatever that you got going on mental wise. You know what I mean? So yeah, all that advice that Nat said, that was accurate as well.
I'm not married, so this is definitely advice coming from somebody who is in a relationship but hasn't been in a relationship for any extended amount of time. But I think that whenever I am going through something that I do is be honest with the people around me, whether that be my girlfriend or my family members or whatever the case may be. And then they're able to rush in and support me in the way that I need. Baddies, before I get into the next question, don't forget to submit your questions. And also, if I answer one of your questions, make sure you DM me back and give me updates. Somebody actually did give me an update from a previous episode.
Okay.
It was the girl who said she was afraid about intimacy and kissing her new girl and stuff like that, and she said that they did kiss for the first time.
Okay.
And she loved it, and she's excited about the next steps, and she's gonna take the advice to move really slow and all this other stuff. So I love the updates, guys, and I read them, so definitely send your updates after you apply my advice.
Hey Nat, let's chat. So I've known this guy for about 3 to 4 years now, and we met at work where he was my manager at first. Since then, we've become really good friends, and actually now we're best friends. But since then, he's told me that he really likes me. The only issue is I'm 23 and he's 36. The age gap is an issue for me.
That is huge.
I don't know what to do because we get along so well. What should I do, Nat?
Oh,
that's
girl,
a huge difference. That's 14. Yeah, that's 14 years.
13 years. A huge age gap.
No, wait.
This is,
oh, yeah, he said, I got my fucking math all fucked up. Either way, that's a lot of time. Yeah, 13 years. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, it's just... I'll be honest. I be on those apps, right? I have apps. You know, both of these apps. And the 23-year-olds be hitting me up. And I'm like, whenever I see them, I'm like, oh, you're a baby. I'm like, oh my God, I'm that old head that says you're a baby. And when she said that, I'm like, but you're like a baby. Even though you're a grown woman, but it's still, that's a huge gap. Like, you know, I want to hear what Nat says about it, because I'm like, yeah.
Advice, but this is really about like your personal preference,
right?
It seems to me, because here's the thing: whenever there's like a huge age gap, attraction can be somewhat of an issue. But you guys are both still pretty young, so he should still look like, you know, pretty good and stuff like that. So I doubt that's the issue.
Listen, before she gets started, I will say, I don't think that attraction is an issue. I think in as far as experience, because you know, like when you're in your 20s, you have a certain experience of adulthood. When you're in your 30s, you're in a whole different level of experience. That, you know, even though there's some immature motherfuckers, they could be 50s, 40s, whatever. But you know, when you go, as you get older, you evolve with an experience, wisdom, and stuff. So it's just like, you know, some shit that you may not tolerate when you're in your 30s. When you're in your 20s, you tolerate it because you're learning, you're growing, you get fresh in adulthood. You know, you're learning your way. So you may be lenient or whatever, or chill, like, I'm going to do this and then the 30-year-old, like, we don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just saying it's a difference. It's a huge difference in the midst of having an age gap. It's just it's a difference in experience, I would think, as well. You know, because I'm sure there's attraction there, obviously, and you know, and they're friends, and they, you know, I'm sure they vocalized. They got more personal on a, you know, of course it got on a personal level because they're friends, whatever, got close. But I just think it's a difference.
Especially being that you're catching feelings for him and stuff like that. I'm guessing
vice versa.
What your issue is that you guys are two totally different places in your life. You're 23. I know 23 was a few years ago for me, but I mentally am so much more prepared for life now than I was at 23. At 23, you're just, it almost still feels like you're a teenager at 23, to be honest. Like, it feels like, dang, I'm just getting set in my life. I'm just now feeling like an adult. And at 36, I'm guessing, I'm not there yet, but I'm guessing 36, you've lived a lot. You probably are ready for a family if you don't already have one at 36, because that's pushing 40. So I'm guessing
I'm not ready for it still.
Have a family, or you're ready to start one. You're really set in your career. So your lives are probably, you know, the timeline of your lives are completely different. You know, but I would say this, Batty. Take a sip of my wine so I can get ready to give you the best advice. I would say this. I would give it a chance. I would give it a chance, and this is why. All right. I actually have dated somebody it was a huge age gap. It was even a bigger age gap than that. And this is when I was like 19. That relationship didn't work, but that was for other reasons, you know, but it was definitely a really cool experience. It gave me an experience to date somebody who knew a lot more about a lot than I did, and I learned a lot from him. And I actually have had 2 age gap relationships. The second one wasn't such a big age gap, but I felt the same way in that relationship. I learned a lot, and I'm the type of person that I really love to learn stuff from the person that I'm with. And usually you will find that in a relationship where there is this age gap. I think that you guys do have to make sure that you're on the same page, though, timeline-wise, or at least close enough. If you are thinking about actually giving this a try with your boss, I think you said, and now your best friend, Shout out to the best friends, because they really be coming through. I swear, everyone should fall in love with their best friend. It's an amazing thing. But I think you need to talk to him. I think you should say, like, look, here are my concerns. I like you, but our timelines are probably very different.
Right.
Let's see where you're at. When do you want to have kids? Do you already have kids? Would you be okay with me not having kids until I'm ready, which might not be for 5, 10 years. I don't know. It depends what age you're ready to have kids. I'm just assuming that you don't have kids, but
right.
you might. But if kids aren't the issue, then it could be other things. It could be marriage. It could be when to buy a house. There are so many different things that people have to think about when they go into a relationship. And usually people are ready for those things at different ages and stages in life. So I would just say make sure you guys have a clear understanding of what you both want out of life and what the timeline is. And can you guys make any type of sacrifices for the other person's timeline, since you guys are on 2 totally different pages. But listen, if y'all have the connection, try it out. Try it out. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing, like, to be with somebody who's that much older. If he's attractive, the attraction is there. You know, he's your best friend. That part seems amazing. I would say go for it. Try it out. Just make sure that you guys have communicated all of those things. And girl, let me know how it goes. You know, give me a little update in a couple months if you guys do decide to go on dates and actually try to make things a little more romantic. Okay, baddies, this is the last question. I've actually been seeing a lot, before we get into the last question, I've been seeing a lot of comments and DMs asking that I make the Hey Nat Let's Chat episodes longer.
Okay.
Comment below.
I gotta check out the other ones.
I need to see enough comments about this. If you want these to be longer, and if you do want them to be longer, what would be a good, time frame as far as like, I think they're around like 10 to 15 minutes now, but would you want them to be like 20 minutes or have a minimum of 5 questions that I answer, or what? I usually am doing like 4 questions per episode, but you guys seem like you want more, so let me know below.
Hey Nat, let's chat. So I am not getting along with my mom, and I am a teenager, so I am not trying to come off disrespectful because I still love her. But my dad is trying to take custody of me and just have me living with him until I'm legal. So while this is happening, my aunt is trying to help build me and my mom's relationship back together without any mess. Now, on the other hand, like on the end of that, I'm actually pretty happy because I actually feel happy and not depressed and emotional, because it's like every time I be with my mom, I feel depressed and just have a lot of mixed emotions.
Right.
But when I'm with my dad, I feel like I could be open and talk to him more. So, Nat, what should I do?
Aw, okay. Well, see, this is a great question because people do have different types of struggles in life. It's not just romantic. So I'm really glad that you were brave enough to submit this type of question, and you're also mature enough to ask for help, which is great because you sound very young. So, all right, Baddie, let me give you the best advice that I can. I think that it's an awesome thing that your aunt is stepping in to try and help the relationship. I don't really know the struggles that you guys have, but it sounds to me like you seem to butt heads pretty often with your mom. And I know that you asked in the next voice message, should you pursue a relationship with your mom or should you just be happy off with your dad? I think the fact that you even have to ask that question shows you that you probably should pursue a relationship with your mom. You know, if your mom is willing, and I know it might be a little bit hard to tell whether she is or not because you guys are butting heads often, but I think that if she's actually letting your aunt step in to try and help you guys, your mom obviously wants the relationship there. I think it's completely natural and normal for parents to butt heads with their kids, but I would say this, I think you're at a good place right now that you are staying with your dad and your dad's trying to get that custody of you and stuff, because you deserve to be happy on a regular basis. And honestly, maybe your relationship will be even stronger with your mom when you guys have a little distance between you. You know, I know with my relationships with my family, you know, if we're butting heads a lot, sometimes it's good for us to be able to take that space, you know, and you seem like you really love to be with your dad, and that's a really good environment for you. So at any age, mental health is a serious thing. So I want you to put your mental health first.
Yeah.
And if you feel happier with your dad, and your dad is obviously wants you to be there, then spend as much time with him as possible. Now, on the other hand, when it comes to your mom, I wouldn't give up on that, you know, because I feel like that relationship is important enough to you to be DMing me, a completely random person to you. You know, I know that you're a fan because you have a fan page and you actually sent it from a fan page of mine. But the fact that you're actually reaching out for help shows me that you really do want this relationship to work. And I would say the best way to do that is continue asking for help.
Yeah.
I know that you asked as well whether or not you should accept help from a therapist. Your aunt was recommending that. I honestly think that's a good idea. I think that you guys should do that. I know you were also saying you were concerned about, you know, whether or not your mom will actually listen to you. You said she doesn't listen to you on a regular basis, so why would she listen to you in therapy? I would say that there's probably more of a chance that she'll listen to you in therapy than when it's just the two of you at home.
Right.
At home, she doesn't have anyone to basically have to stop and listen to. And with a stranger, this therapist, your mom will probably hold back a little bit more, where she sits and actually listens. And she'll also be able to get a perspective from another adult who's telling her stuff like, okay, your daughter's in this position, your daughter feels like this. And I'm sure you guys will also have your chances to speak with this therapist separately as well, so that you can really vent to your therapist instead of only having your mom to talk to. I think therapy is a good idea. If your mom is not interested in therapy, or you guys don't happen to do therapy, you can also have other people in your family step in to be that person that kind of regulates a conversation between you and your mom. So if your aunt is a trusted person to you and is a trusted person to your mom, then she might be a good person that you guys can sit down with and talk to on a regular basis, whether that be weekly or whatever the case may be. And also try to connect with your mom on different things, you know, instead of just doing the same monotonous stuff where you are just at home and you're watching TV together and you're doing this and you're doing that. Try to go outside of things that you usually do and try to really enjoy each other's company. Like, it doesn't have to be something expensive. It could be you guys paint together, or you guys go on walks together, or something that is going to help you guys forget about the differences you guys have and actually enjoy some time together. So I hope this really helped. This one really struck home, because I don't like to hear that, you know, you're at this age and you're going through something like that, but it's completely normal and natural. Like I said, just put your mental health first, and I wouldn't give up on a relationship unless if.
I think that's good advice she gave her, because I would say with my ex and her daughter, when they hit teens, something else. But they will always butt heads, and I'm like, y'all always butt heads, but y'all are the same person. Like, y'all act just alike. The reason why y'all butt heads so much is y'all act just alike. And I wonder if it's the same situation with this one. Because I will always say, like, you know, when she gets older, she's going to say, and I think y'all become more closer. I would tell my ex that. And I think the same will happen with them, you know, because, you know, you never know what the situation is. You never know if the mom is jealous of because her bond with the father, because her bond with the father is close. You never know how the mom and dad ended up. I mean, their relationship, you know, or whatever, even post breakup, whatever, where she may be jealous of the interaction that the daughter has with the father or whatever, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you know, this is an issue. And it's good that the aunt is stepping in to try to mend this. And, you know, it's good that she wants to mend this with her mom, you know, even at this young age. So, you know, I think what's best for her, stay with dad, but still keep that relationship with mom, like at least try. And if mom doesn't want to try, then, you know, just keep trying in your own way. You know, because, you know, old heads are stubborn. Be stubborn and set in our ways. And then eventually we get worn down. And then, you know. But I agree with her as far as the therapist. It's good to do the therapy thing because, you know, having the third party listen, observe, and, you know, give their perspective of what both sides saying and where each one is right and which each one's is wrong. Where the mom can't just shut it down and just be like, oh, well, whatever. She can't whatever in therapy. Not saying that she won't or, you know, can't literally will, because some people do. But at the end of the day, the truth is right there. And it's like, you know, sometimes it's like, you know, you had to hear that messed up shit in order to be like, oh, I really did do that because, in order to change. But yeah, it's all normal. A lot of, you know, teenagers go through this with the parents when, you know, feel like, you know, you butt heads with the parents. Or some teenagers and growing up, it's just like, you know, they may have a closer bond. It's all different, but I think the going back and forth, well, button heads with mom is a normal thing, and I think eventually it will grow out of it, and they'll have a closer bond in the end.
Have tried every route to have a good relationship, and it's just not happening. So I hope this helps, and please update me on what you decide to do. Okay, baddies, that concludes this episode of Hey Nat, Let's Chat.
Let's chat. I'm gonna have to react to more of them.
Again,
I'm starting behind.
So much fun sitting down and chatting with you. I really feel like however many thousands of you that watch this are just sitting in my living room with me right now, and I'm getting to go one at a time and talk to you. This is so much fun, guys.
Right.
Don't forget to submit your questions, and also comment below. Let me know what you're feeling about this series, and if you want to see this series on a weekly basis, because right now I am planning to do it every Thursday. So let me know if you're excited for that. If you want me to continue doing it every Thursday, and yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.
I like this. It's cool. Shout out to Nat. And shout out to everybody who submitted their questions, man, because this is cool. Another way to be personal with Nat. That's cool. But yeah, that's my reaction. I got more coming. I'm your host, L. On to the next one. What the fuck do I always say? Be yourself, be your motherfucking self. Fuck who? Woo! Fuck who? Fuck everyone else. I'm your host, L. I'm out.